Have you ever felt that doing good, truly being a good person, somehow isn't enough? That others, perhaps less virtuous, glide through life, gaining favor and influence with surprising ease? This isn't just a fleeting frustration. It's a question that has echoed through the corridors of power and philosophy for centuries. We're often told that virtue is its own reward, but what if the world operates on a different, more complex set of rules? The title of our exploration today, Why Looking Good is More Powerful Than Being Good, might sound cynical, even unsettling. It challenges our deepest beliefs about fairness and morality. Yet, to dismiss it outright is to ignore a potent, often uncomfortable, truth about human nature and the mechanics of social interaction. We're diving into the world of Niccolo Machiavelli, a thinker who dared to look at humanity not as it should be, but as it is. Machiavelli, writing in 15th century Florence, wasn't a champion of evil. He was a pragmatist, a keen observer of how power is acquired, maintained, and lost. His insights, particularly from The Prince, force us to confront the profound impact of appearances. He argued that in the theater of life, especially in public life, perception often trumps reality. This isn't necessarily a comfortable thought, but it is a powerful one. So what is this looking good that Machiavelli speaks of? It's not merely about physical attractiveness or fashionable attire, though those can play a part. It's about the conscious cultivation of a public image, an image of competence, strength, virtue, or whatever qualities are most advantageous in a given situation. It's the art of managing how others see you. Why does this crafted appearance hold such sway? Machiavelli observed that men in general judge more by the eyes than by the hands. Most people will only ever see your surface, your outward presentation. They won't have the time, or perhaps the inclination, to deeply investigate your true character or the intricate details of your actions. First impressions and sustained public images become their reality. Consider a leader. They may possess incredible strategic genius and a genuinely benevolent heart, but if they appear hesitant, disorganized, or uncaring, their actual qualities may never get a chance to shine or be effective. The perception of weakness or disarray can invite challenges and erode support, regardless of the unseen inner goodness. This is the power of the visible. Machiavelli's famous and often misunderstood line is that it is necessary for a prince to seem to have qualities like mercy, faith, integrity, and religion. He doesn't necessarily say the prince must possess them in their purest form at all times, but he must appear to. Why? Because these appearances inspire loyalty, trust, and obedience in the populace. This might sound like a call for hypocrisy, and indeed, Machiavelli's work has been criticized for precisely this reason. But his aim was not to endorse deceit for its own sake. Rather, it was to provide a clear-eyed manual for effective governance in a world that is often far from ideal. He recognized that the ideal ruler who is only good may not last long. The core of this idea lies in understanding human psychology. We are wired to make quick judgments. We rely on visual cues and perceived traits to navigate our social worlds. A confident posture, a decisive tone, an appearance of compassion, these create an immediate impact, often before any deeper scrutiny can occur. Think about it in your own life. When you meet someone new, what do you first notice? Their demeanor, their confidence, how they present themselves. These surface-level observations heavily influence your initial assessment, often subconsciously. We are all, to some extent, judging by appearances, even if we strive not to. Machiavelli noted that the few, those who are close enough to truly know you, might discern your actual character. But the many, the vast majority of people with whom you interact, especially in a public or professional capacity, will judge you based on what you appear to be. And the judgment of the many often carries the day. This isn't to say that being good has no value. Of course, it does. Integrity, kindness, and genuine skill are foundational, but Machiavelli's insight is that these qualities, if unperceived or poorly presented, may not translate into influence or success in the way we hope. Goodness needs a good ambassador. The power in looking good comes from its ability to shape reality. If people believe you are capable, they are more likely to entrust you with responsibility. If they believe you are trustworthy, they are more likely to follow your lead. Perception, in this sense, actively creates opportunities and outcomes. Imagine a skilled artisan who creates masterpieces in solitude. Their work is undeniably good. But if no one knows of their skill, if they don't present their work effectively, if they don't look good as a craftsman, their genius might remain obscure. Their goodness, in terms of their craft, lacks impact without the element of appearance. Conversely, someone with moderate skill but excellent presentation and self-promotion, someone who looks good, might achieve greater recognition and success. This isn't always fair, but it's often true. The appearance of competence can sometimes carry more weight than quiet, unheralded competence itself. Machiavelli understood that human beings are swayed by what resonates emotionally and what appears credible. A display of confidence, even if not fully backed by substance, can be more persuasive than hesitant, fumbling truth. The performance of virtue can be more impactful than virtue that fails to perform. This is why reputation is so fiercely guarded by those in positions of influence. A reputation is built on sustained appearances. A single misstep, if it shatters a carefully constructed image of, say, integrity or strength, can have catastrophic consequences, even if the underlying character hasn't changed. So is the lesson to become deceitful, to abandon true goodness for a hollow facade. Not necessarily. Machiavelli's wisdom can be interpreted differently, as an encouragement to be strategic about how our genuine qualities are perceived. If you are good, ensure that goodness is visible and credible. It's about understanding that communication is not just about words, it's about the entire package. Your demeanor, your consistency, your ability to project confidence and reliability. These are all part of looking good in a way that amplifies your true strengths rather than inventing false ones. Think of it as ethical marketing for your own virtues. If you have valuable skills, ensuring they are known and understood is not vanity, it's effectiveness. If you have good intentions, demonstrating them in a way that people can see and believe is not duplicity, it's impact. The challenge, then, is to align your looking good with your being good as much as possible. Where Machiavelli might suggest that appearance can substitute for reality if necessary for power, a more modern, ethical interpretation might be to ensure your appearance accurately reflects your best reality. However, we must also acknowledge the discomfort in Machiavelli's original assertion that sometimes, for sheer survival or effectiveness in a harsh world, the appearance of certain virtues might be prioritized over their constant, unwavering practice, especially when a show of strength or resolve is needed. Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities, Machiavelli wrote, that one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. This highlights the vulnerability of human judgment to compelling appearances, especially in times of uncertainty or need. This isn't a green light for manipulation, but a caution. Be aware that this dynamic exists. Understanding it helps you guard against being easily deceived by mere appearances in others, and it helps you understand why your own presentation matters so much. The world Machiavelli described was one of high stakes, political intrigue, and constant power struggles. In such an environment, a ruler who was perceived as weak, indecisive, or too merciful to act when necessary would quickly fall. Appearances were, quite literally, a matter of political survival. The goodness that is invisible, uncommunicated, or unconvincing offers little protection or advantage in such a context. It's like having a secret weapon that you never reveal or use. Its potential remains unrealized. Therefore, looking good becomes a tool that can be used for self-preservation, for achieving noble ends, or, admittedly, for less noble ones. The morality lies not in the tool itself, but in the intention and application of the user. Consider the qualities a leader might need to project: wisdom, decisiveness, compassion, strength. Cultivating the appearance of these, even when feeling doubt or pressure internally, is part of the responsibility of leadership. It reassures and guides those who depend on them. The power of looking good also stems from its efficiency. It takes far less time to assess someone based on their appearance and demeanor than to conduct a thorough investigation of their character and history. In a fast-paced world, we often rely on these cognitive shortcuts. This doesn't mean we should become superficial. Rather, it means we should be mindful of the signals we are sending. Are we presenting ourselves in a way that accurately reflects our capabilities and intentions? Or are we inadvertently undermining ourselves through a lack of attention to our appearance in the broader sense? Machiavelli's insights are a mirror to the pragmatic, sometimes harsh, realities of human interaction. He shows us that the stage of the world demands a certain level of performance. The question for us is what kind of performance we choose to give, and why. If you are genuinely skilled, compassionate, and trustworthy, then looking good means ensuring these qualities are perceived. It means communicating your value effectively. It means not letting your true worth be hidden by a poor or neglectful presentation. This requires self-awareness. How do others likely see you? What impression do you make? Sometimes, a trusted friend or mentor can offer valuable feedback on this, as our self-perception can be notoriously unreliable. It also requires understanding your audience or your environment. What qualities are valued? What kind of appearance inspires confidence or trust in that specific context? Looking good is not one size fits all. It's adaptable. Machiavelli might argue that if a situation demands you appear stern to maintain order, then appearing stern is the good action for a leader, even if their natural inclination is leniency. The effectiveness of the outcome, for the greater good of the state, was his primary concern. The fear is that this leads to a slippery slope where appearance is all that matters, and substance is neglected. This is a valid concern. The ideal, perhaps, is to strive for an authentic alignment where your outward presentation is a true reflection of your inner substance. But what if your inner substance is still developing? Or what if you're in a situation where you're judged harshly before you can prove yourself? Here, strategically looking good, appearing confident, capable, and composed, can buy you the time and opportunity to let your true qualities emerge. Think of a job interview. Your qualifications, being good, are on paper, but your demeanor, your confidence, your ability to articulate your thoughts clearly, looking good, during the interview often play a decisive role. One without the other is often insufficient. Machiavelli's point wasn't to encourage us to be inauthentic, but to be effective. And in many human endeavors, effectiveness is deeply tied to how we are perceived by others. Ignoring this is not noble. It can be naive. So how do we apply this pragmatically without sacrificing our integrity? First, cultivate genuine virtues and skills. Being good is the foundation. Without it, looking good is merely a hollow shell, easily shattered. Second, become conscious of how you present these virtues. Are you communicating your competence effectively? Is your kindness visible in your actions and demeanor? Are you projecting the confidence that your skills should warrant? This isn't about boasting or arrogance. It's about ensuring that your positive attributes are not obscured by a presentation that suggests the opposite. It's about letting your light shine, not hiding it under a bushel. Machiavelli observed that people are often more willing to forgive a leader's occasional harshness if they believe it's for the greater good, and if the leader generally maintains an appearance of justice and strength. The overall perception matters. The power of looking good is the power of influence. If you look the part, people are more inclined to listen to you, trust you, and follow you. This influence can then be used to achieve genuinely good outcomes. Consider the reverse. Someone who is truly brilliant and well-intentioned but appears disorganized, insecure, or unkempt. Their valuable contributions may be overlooked or dismissed simply because their appearance doesn't inspire confidence. Their goodness is handicapped. The world often takes us at our own apparent valuation. If you project an image of competence and worth, others are more likely to treat you accordingly. If you project doubt or inadequacy, that too may be reflected back at you. This isn't about creating a false self. It's about understanding the language of perception and using it to ensure your true self, your best self, is accurately and effectively communicated. It's a skill, like any other, that can be learned and refined. Machiavelli might say that in the absence of complete information, appearance is the information people use. So, provide them with information that serves both their need for judgment and your intention for impact. The balance is key. A complete reliance on looking good without substance is the path of the charlatan, but a complete disregard for looking good in favor of a pure, unadorned being good can be the path of ineffectiveness. Machiavelli's lasting legacy is that he encourages us to be realists about human nature. People are swayed by what they see. They are influenced by confidence, by charisma, by the appearance of virtue. To ignore this is to operate at a disadvantage. Perhaps the most constructive way to interpret this is to see looking good not as an alternative to being good, but as a necessary amplifier of it. Your goodness, your skills, your intentions, they all deserve to be perceived in their best possible light. This means paying attention to details. How you carry yourself, how you speak, how you present your work, how consistent you are in your public persona. These things are not superficial. They are signals that others constantly read. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, in a somewhat similar vein, noted that politeness is to human nature what warmth is to wax. A pleasing appearance and demeanor can make others more receptive to you, softening interactions and opening doors. So the power isn't just about deceiving others. It's the power to make your genuine goodness more effective, more influential, and more capable of creating positive change. It's about ensuring your inner value is matched by an outer presentation that does it justice. If you feel your contributions are undervalued or your intentions misunderstood, ask yourself, is there a disconnect between my inner reality, being good, and my outward presentation, looking good? Could I communicate my worth more effectively? Machiavelli's world was turbulent. Stability and order were paramount. He believed a leader needed to be loved and feared, but if forced to choose, it was safer to be feared. This often required a carefully managed appearance of strength and ruthlessness, even if tempered with displays of mercy. Today, in many contexts, being loved or respected is more effective than being feared. But the principle remains. The perception you cultivate directly impacts your ability to lead and influence. Looking good today might mean appearing approachable, empathetic, and collaborative, depending on the goal. The core message isn't to be fake. It's to be aware. Aware of how perceptions are formed, aware of the impact of your presentation, and aware of how to strategically ensure that what people see aligns with what you want them to understand about you, ideally, your true, best self. Think of the successful people you admire. Often, they not only possess genuine skills being good, but also present themselves with confidence and professionalism, looking good. The two aspects work in synergy, reinforcing each other. The danger always is when the appearance becomes detached from reality, when looking good is used to mask a lack of substance, or worse, to perpetrate harm. This is where Machiavellianism earns its negative reputation, but the tool itself is neutral. Our aim should be to harness this understanding for good, to present our genuine virtues and abilities in the most impactful way, to ensure that our being good is not just an internal state, but a force that is seen, felt, and respected in the world. So looking good is powerful. It shapes perceptions, opens doors, and builds influence. The key is to wield that power responsibly, aligning it with genuine integrity and purpose. It's not about deceiving the world, but about effectively engaging with it. The next time you feel frustrated that your efforts aren't recognized, consider not just what you are doing, but how you are presenting what you are doing. Is your appearance, in the broadest sense, truly serving your best qualities? Machiavelli reminds us that the world judges by results, and results are often facilitated by perceptions. An unpalatable truth, perhaps, but one that holds profound implications for how we navigate our lives and pursue our goals. It encourages a certain kind of deliberate self-crafting, not in a false way, but in a way that brings your best, truest self forward, dressed in the attire that allows it to be most favorably and accurately perceived by those you wish to influence or connect with. This perspective shifts the focus from passive goodness to active, visible virtue. It's a call to take responsibility not just for our inner state, but for how that inner state translates into outward perception and, ultimately, impact. The core philosophical message, then, is this: in the human sphere, perception holds immense power. Looking good, crafting a compelling and advantageous appearance, often achieves more immediate results than unseen virtue. Understanding this isn't about cynicism, but about effectiveness. The practical shift is one of awareness. Begin to notice how appearances shape interactions around you. Observe how you yourself are perceived. Then, consider how you can more consciously and authentically present your best qualities to the world, making your goodness more potent. This wisdom, drawn from Machiavelli, is not a comfortable blanket, but a sharp tool. It can be used to build or to manipulate. The responsibility, as always, lies with us to understand the power of appearance and to strive to use it to make our genuine goodness more visible and effective. So, while being good remains the moral compass, looking good is the skillful navigation that allows your ship to reach its intended, worthy destination. May you find the wisdom to integrate both, understanding that in the eyes of the world, what is seen is often what is believed, and what is believed shapes reality.